Hi, I'm Amy Giaquinto and I am Mama Fix It. And on today's episode, we are going to continue with de-winterizing the sprinkler system, only this time we are venturing into my backyard. So come on, let's get to it. So just like in the front yard, our first step is to start with opening up our sprinkler box here. I'm gonna try and work this cover off. There we go. Oh. Okay. So same thing, except for, see, these are different valves here, but I still need to make sure, because I don't have the little testy thing here. Okay, must have tightened that back up over the winter, but I'm going to tighten this one here, because otherwise water's going to fly out of here. Okay. Notice how I have some Teflon tape on these. It's always a good idea to use your Teflon tape. Okay, that's tight. Make sure, I just always like to check all of my connections for tight. Okay. So these here, this is kind of cool because a quarter turn, you can turn them on and off. They're a little more challenging, but guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn the water on, and we have two valves in our basement that control the water to our sprinklers, one to the front yard, one to the backyard. So it's kind of ridiculous because our system is a little jury-rigged. We did not do that. That came jury-rigged. So I'm gonna go turn on the water downstairs. And we'll ask Justin too. Always know where all of your water shutoffs are and turn-ons. Know what your turn-ons are, know where your turn-on. Okay, that didn't come out right. I hear, oh, shiznit. Okay, turn it off. Well, I was gonna show you how to get the valves working correctly, but considering we have this huge leak in my PVC feeding water to my valve system, I guess we'll work on that first. Thank goodness it's PVC, it's super easy to fix, so we're just gonna fix it. In order to fix that, you're gonna need a PVC elbow, maybe a little bit of straight PVC pipe, and gonna need some PVC primer and some PVC pipe glue. Your trusty pipe cutter tool. This one goes from 3/16 to 1 1/8 inches in diameter for pipe cutting. And we're just gonna come down here. I wanna give myself some space between this coupler and down here so that when I go to replace the next coupler, I have space because the pipe is gonna need a certain amount of depth inside the coupler. So I just tighten this, I spin this little handle here and tighten my tool, and then I'm just gonna rotate it around. And I'm just gonna go around, and it has got a little scoring wheel on it. So as it goes, I can go around a few times and then it'll get looser and I can tighten it a little bit more. And I love this tool because it gives me nice edges. And I can make a straight cut, which I cannot do for the life of me with a hacksaw. And around and around and around we go. It's much easier than a hacksaw. I want to take this section with me to the hardware store so that I buy the right parts and so that I can kind of build my system at the hardware store. I have a bag, see my bag of PVC. I do have all the right fittings that I need, and I need just a 90-degree elbow, basically, and a coupler. I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store though because I need another piece of PVC. I'm back from the hardware store. I have my PVC stick. It was like $2 and change for 24 inches. I had them cut the stick, which you can have them do, and so you don't have to buy an entire like 12-foot section of it. So now that we're here, I'm gonna take you down here. First thing I like to do is I like to make sure my edges are nice and soft, so I'll get some fine grit sandpaper and just round these out. See, nice and smooth. And then you're gonna wanna make it nice and clean too. Okay, there we go. Probably need some paper towels here too because I feel some wetness in the pipe. When you're using PVC pipe glue, the last thing you want is any moisture at all because you want to form a really good seal, and moisture can stop that from happening. All we need to fix this, I'm going to sand the second edge of my pipe. You need a tape measure, and we need some PVC primer, some PVC glue. Uh-oh, what's my number one rule? You guys don't know it. My number one rule is always check that you have everything that you need before you start a project, and including checking to make sure that your PVC pipe glue has not done this and is still usable. So it looks like I need to run back to the hardware store and go get some PVC pipe glue because both of my containers have dried up like this. That is the problem with these containers. They tend to dry out over time. So I'll be back. Again, trip number 2. All right, so I am back from the hardware store, and this time I have my PVC pipe glue. They have different kinds of this stuff, so it's actually PVC pipe cement. So you just want to make sure that you read the label and get the right cement for the right application. So this one sets up pretty quick. I'm still not going to want to run the sprinklers for at least 24 hours to give the glue time to really seal, and so I don't have any leaks. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to need tape measure. I like to use rubber gloves because I don't want this PVC pipe glue or the primer on my hands. And I've got my pipe cutter and I have my PVC stick. And so the first thing I'm going to do is measure. I'm going to measure, I can see, from here down to where I want my pipe joint to be located, my elbow joint. All right, so, but you have to look because, let me show you. This is a coupler. And so when I stick this coupler on, it's going to go in almost an inch in. So whatever I do, I have to measure for that. Probably 7 3/4 because I'm going to have another about an inch down here, probably 3/4 of an inch or so when I put the 90-degree elbow in. Okay. So now I'm just gonna mark my pipe and make the cut. I have just measured, again, just near. They make these really cool pipe cutters, and I was gonna get one because at this point I should invest in one because I'm always cutting so much pipe, but I decided not to spend the money on it today. Here we go. And then we're gonna do the same with the other side. Make sure that's nice and straight. Okay, there. All right, wipe it. This is going to be the hard part because fitting these two pieces of pipe together sucks sometimes. I'm going to fake fit it first and make sure that it's going to work. Oh, that's going to be too long. So I'm going to take a little bit off. Okay, so one of the things you really should pay attention to is the order with which you build your system, because I want to make sure that I can connect everything together. So the easiest thing for me to do to make sure that that happens is to actually build it. Hold on, got a little bit of dust and dirt on here, so I'm going to clean this off. I want to put my 90-degree elbow on first in this case, because I think it's going to be a lot easier to do it that way. Grab yourself a paper towel or something, because this purple stuff, the primer, it stains the heck out of everything. Okay, and you want a nice clean place to lay down your pipe. I'm gonna grab my primer. It's purple, it's pretty purple. Do not snip this stuff, it's caustic, it's nasty, nasty crap. Go around and prime your pipe, not too much, wait for it to dry. While that's drying, you're going to prime the inside of your 90-degree elbow joint. Just get a little primer in there. Whoop, doop. We're going to take our nasty PVC pipe glue. See how goopy this is. Do not sniff this stuff either. It is toxic. Just ick. Just build your stuff outside in fresh air. You're going to run it around your pipe here once. You don't want too many leaks on there, too much. And then around the inside here, and then go and pick up the excess here, and then get that lid back on. You only have a short amount of time to kind of wiggle this on, like that. Make sure bottom's out. I like to wipe off the excess pipe glue, and this is why I wear gloves, because I just stuck my finger in it. And there you go. Let's give that a moment. just like that, I have built a section of PVC pipe. You can see in there, not sure how well you can see in there, but that you can see that the pipe is mostly bottomed out next to that ridge that I was talking about. All right, so the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna do the coupler. Do the same exact thing with the coupler. We're gonna wrap it around. Just trying to put the lid on that primer. Always, always, always screw the lid on completely, because there's nothing worse than spilling your pipe cement or your primer all over everything, because like I said, it stains everything it touches. We are going to now do the PVC glue around the pipe. Ooh, that's a lot. And then we're gonna do it in here. Ooh. And shove it in. You wanna like wiggle it back and forth a little bit to get that all the way down. Like little quarter turns, eighth turns, whatever. There we go. And now I have 2 sections of pipe built. So just imagine, it's just like playing Legos with your kids, actually. You know, where you're just trying to connect the right pieces. Okay, so now I'm gonna give this a few minutes to set up, because I don't wanna be jockeying it around too much when it's still curing. Give it about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go down under again, and we're gonna replace the rest of it. All right, hang on a minute, we'll be right back. Alrighty, you see my pipe there? Don't ignore this. This was just insulation for the winter, because this is, again, such a wonky setup. Okay, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing. This is where it gets nasty, because I'm gonna like hold my breath as I prime this pipe here. Make sure I wanna get all the way around it. All right. Okay, so now, as you see, I have my primed pipe. Just trying to get my body into a position where I can actually get up under here. Around this pipe. Oof. All the way around. There we go. And then around again. Let's see if I've got glue on the front. Oh, you want to make sure that you don't do something stupid, and you really, really do want to align your PVC joint. See, I've got this 90 here that I need to make sure it's sitting straight. Perfect. Look at that. It even fits nicely. Choo. See that? Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to take this guy, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other ends. I'm gonna throw a coupler on it right away. Okay, so again, here, got my coupler. I'm gonna do both sides of the coupler, because we're gonna be gluing both sides of the coupler together. I like to wait till it's completely dry, and then you get a really nice seal on it. PVC glue works basically by melting the 2 pieces of plastic together. Isn't that cool? So you want to make sure you follow all the directions correctly so that bond works, because it sucks getting done with a project like this. That is a huge amount of PVC glue, and having to redo it because you missed. And trust me, that'll happen to you if you haven't done PVC work before. You will inevitably screw something up at some point. Okay. All right. There it is there. Yeah. Hi. Don't you love the positions you get yourself into when you're plumbing? Here first. Oh, I can't even see what I'm doing. Isn't this fun? That's okay. And then out here, thank God I've got gloves on. Put that away. All right, here goes nothing. Come on, baby. Where are you? Come on, baby. Let's go in there. I think we've got it. Oh, I think I'm stuck. Yeah, you're not a true plumber until you do things in weird positions. All right, so we're gonna wait 15 to 30 minutes, and then we're gonna give that a try, but I'm not optimistic that joint is gonna hold together, so I think I'm gonna have to redo that elbow. But that's what it's all about. Dun, dun. Apparently, we have multiple leaks, and we're actually not leaking where I thought we were gonna be leaking. Look at. That's the whole pipe that's split. Oh my gosh, look at all the way up. Ah! Hi, I'm back. So after yesterday's debacle, we're gonna try this one more time. I did go out and buy a brand new tool. Gabriel, bring me my tool, please. which is now being experimented on by my kiddo. Just to make life a little bit easier, I bought some pipe cutters, and so I want to be able to drain my line completely. And because this is wonky and probably not anywhere near code, because of our previous homeowner, I bought one of these doohickeys. It's a really kind of cool gadget. Okay, so now we're going to do channel locks. I don't care about the PVC on here. Oh, there it goes. But all I'm going to do is just work this guy off of here. Okay. This is off. Good. And then we have to rebuild this section, and then I'm going to put in my little drainer piece, this piece here, down there. So we're going to cut that pipe and we're going to install this. Oh, good job. All right. Okay, so we always store it like this so that nobody gets cut. It has a nifty little wire piece on the handle to keep it closed so that the blade's not, sitting out. Now that that section is off, we're going to cut a splice in between that pipe there so that we can splice on the little connectors. You want to cut one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See,
Where?
Mom buys a new tool and kids take over. Really? Really? All right, I'm going to do a quick sand. You're a little crooked. See how that's not quite even? I'm going to just even up my ends because I don't like crooked ends on plumbing because that's a place it can leak. That's straighter. See how nice and straight that is? That's better. Okay. Better to take the extra time now than have to deal with a leak later. This might be gross, but most plumbers will do something to this extent to clean the pipe because we're lazy. Okay, if I gave away some big old plumber secret, don't blame me. Okay, so this side's all clean. This side's all clean. What's easiest to do? This way. Okay. I'm gonna do my primer and my glue. Okay, there's that. And then we're gonna go on the inside of this one. You get a little bit on here. You get a little bit on here. And then I'm gonna jam this on. So I'm gonna give that a few minutes to set up. All right, and then we'll continue on to the next section. Here's the pipe end. Here's my Teflon tape. And I'm just gonna wrap it around my pipe here. Should probably get rid of the old one. Just like this. Stick it in those threads. One. And what's gonna happen is this is gonna create a seal so that your threads don't leak. Okay. All right, there we go. Just tear it. Put it on there nice and like that. And then I'm gonna take my elbow, my 3/4 inch threaded elbow, and I'm going to righty tighty lefty loosey. There we go. Helps go the right direction. Okay. And see, I'm trying to support this pipe too, and it's gonna get hard with the Teflon tape. You can just use the channel locks. So what'll happen sometimes is that your PVC won't be completely straight. So I can use my channel locks to kind of straighten this guy. Oops. Just shove them up underneath there and then twist. Okay, so it's test time. I've built this, it is not glued together, but because of where it is, I don't want to run a bunch of water down here, and we've got some electrical wire running here too, so I definitely don't want to get that wet. So I'm going to have my husband turn on the water. None of this is glued in. This is not how the pipe system is going to be built. It's just for testing reasons to make sure that this connection does not leak. I always like to take the time to test my stuff out before I actually finish the system, because it's better to test now and to fix now than it is to have to tear your whole system apart and redo it. All right, let's give this a shot. Here we go. The water is on. that connection is not leaking at all. I always like to look underneath. Oh, no, that was just Teflon tape. Give it a minute. This is when your handy GoPro comes in. Nice. Looks nice and ready to go. Okay, so now we can build the rest of our stuff. Okay, you can shut it off. Yay! I've disconnected my testing system, and so now what I want to do is I want to dry out my pipe, and then we're going to measure, and we're going to rebuild the system, and I'm going to build some of it sitting up here so I'm not laying on my belly in some weird angle trying to build all of this. So I'm drying out my pipe here. We're going to measure now while that's absorbing the water, any trickle that's coming out. So sometimes it seems like it's going to be a lot of work to do your own stuff, and sometimes it is, but you know, you learn a lot when you do it, and it saves you a lot of money. And when you have the right parts, it's not a big deal. Like if I hadn't had to run to the hardware store yesterday, it wouldn't have been a big problem. But because I've had to run several times because I didn't have the right stuff, that's where it became the problem. Oh, these things are awesome. Oh no! It's okay, they ratchet. See, you can see the ratcheting in here. Every time I kind of come down and squeeze harder, it puts the ratchet in a different place. Watch. I like knowing how my tools work. Okay, here we go, here we go. Yeah! Again, we want to dry this out since this is the pipe that I used down below. The thing that is nice about doing your own stuff is that you learn a lot about your house, and you learn a lot about, you know, how things work, and you're going to fail a lot. But, you know, you learn a lot when you fail. Actually, you learn more when you fail than when you succeed. So I think it's really important that sometimes we take a little bit of risk. Let's get this primed up and pull this out. That is completely dry, which is good. Now I'm going to prime this pipe here, and we're going to test fit. Give that a second. So if I'm here, yeah, it looks good. I think I want to build the elbow on the bottom first so that I'm not hanging at a weird angle. So I'm going to do that. I really feel like you can also teach your kids this stuff, and that will make them a lot more self-sufficient as they get older. All right, so both sides here again. This neighborhood is so loud this morning. I think I could have picked a worse day to film. Okay, okay, around. And I hope I'm inspiring you to take some action with this stuff down in there. Okay, take a paper towel, wipe up the excess in here. I'm going to give that a couple of minutes to set up because I don't want to be messing around with this joint while the glue is curing. And while we're waiting, let's take a look at Francine and get a little nature. Francine adopted us. Actually, she and her husband Frank come and visit us every year. All right, so I did a quick test fit and realized that I had forgotten to account for this portion of my 90. It's early, so I'm just gonna trim a little bit off of my pipe. I've remeasured. I love this tool. You have to get one of these tools. That's just awesome. I'm gonna reprime this and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna glue here. Make sure it's all the way around. It's kind of hard when you're upside down. This is where it's tricky because we got to get the pipe nice and straight. Get it in there. And I only have a split second to get it lined up correctly with my other pipe. There, that should be good. Okay, so I'm going to give that a second. And now I'm going to build this final piece. My last piece is going to connect this piece here to this one down here. So like that. See, again, you know, this might not be, I might not have the most efficient method. I probably don't because I'm not a professional plumber and I'm out here with a million distractions usually, but I'm getting the job done and that's what matters. And I'm saving money by doing it. a lot of money, because somebody would have charged me a fortune, probably a few $1,000s just to repair this, or, you know, at minimum it would have been $500 to $1,000 with today's ridiculous contractor prices. And then it probably would have been 6 weeks at least before somebody could have gotten out to do it. Okay, so again, I'm gonna let that set up for a second. So there's that. A little spit shine. Okay. Okay, nice and dry. I'm gonna use this to keep it clean. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do this. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one on here. Go around in the circle here. And go around here. Oh crap! Get it, Garrett, get it! Oh dang it! Oh crap! That's why you screw the lid on. Just exactly what I'm not gonna do right there. Okay, so we're gonna get this on here, twist it on. Okay, and because I'm worried about PVC pipe glue being all over everything, I'm gonna pull this apart. I'm gonna take some paper towel, clean up the excess in here. Okay, and this one too. I'm gonna leave that apart for right now so that it can thoroughly dry, and we'll start building the rest of that out. My last piece is gonna connect this piece here to this one down here, so like that. Okay. All right, this is gonna be real fun. And having a second set of hands, even if it is a little set of hands, is very helpful. But I think this is a skill like a lot of people are losing in the digital age. You don't know how to do anything by hand anymore. And I think it's super important to be able to know how to do this stuff. But that's just me. Okay. Move out of the way. We're gonna get you in there. All right, got you in there. We've got one more connector to connect to, and that's going to be this one. Sometimes it's easier to unscrew here and then connect the two, but I think I can get it without doing that this time. Okay, so I'm going to prime the inside here. Make sure it's nice and primed. I go around the outside of this one. Make sure I don't hit the dirt. Make sure I've got all the glue on the bottom. That's the worst part, is when you find out that you missed a spot with the glue. Okay. Try like crazy to get this all the way in. And I can't wiggle this side to side, but I can. Oh, I can a little bit. There we go. All right. That is in. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that, look at that, look at that. All the way down, we've got it all fixed. Today's the big day. This is the big moment. We're gonna test the PVC and make sure there aren't any leaks. Fingers crossed. All right, here we go. I have my trusty husband who's gonna turn on the water. All right, you ready, Justin? Gonna check my joints for leaks. I wish it was this easy to repair the joints in your body. But alas, the technology is not there yet. It's water's on. Water is on. I'm testing my joints. No leaks there. That's dry. This is dry. This is dry. That's dry. This is dry. This is dry. And trying to get all the way under. That's dry. So the final step in this process is to put the deck boards back where they belong. And to do that, I'm actually going to have my son move them because my back is bothering me. I will laugh at my cheap manual labor. It's actually free, isn't it? Mm-hmm. There you have it. If I wasn't planning on tearing up my deck to replace the deck, I would definitely screw these boards back in. But for now, I'm not gonna worry about it. Yay! We did it, we did it, we did it, we did it. There's not a single leak in this system now. Knock on wood, it stays that way. We did it, we did it. We fixed this PVC pipe, ba ba ba. So in the next episode, I'm gonna show you how to fix jammed sprinkler valves and get the rest of the backyard up and running. Isn't that great? Yay! So I'm Amy Giaquinto. I am Mama Fix It. If you like my videos, please, please, please hit those like and subscribe buttons below. Please share, because sharing is caring. And also be sure to visit my website, www.amygiaquinto.com, to see all the cool things that I am working on. All right, have a fantastic day and enjoy playing with your PVC. Bye! Ah! The whole pipe is split. Turn on my microphone. Okay, there we go. I am back again after 4 trips to the hardware store. Cutter, I love my pipe cutter. I love my pipe cutter. I really do. I really love this tool.